Hi Mick, it's Aussie Villain. Mate, look, there's no easy way to say this, but, well, there's a lot of pressure on your seat, mate. A lot of pressure. It's an American team, mate. It's an American team, and they want an American driver. Well, I tell you what, if you can score points this weekend in Miami in front of the American public, then you can stay. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Haas F1. We are kicking Haas and we are going to have the Miami Grand Prix today. And, well, there is a lot of pressure on Mick Schumacher's seat just now. Kevin Magnussen has scored 9 points and Mick has... well, he's crashed the car, basically, hasn't he? So there we go. We can see he's got low morale as well. Maybe my phone call didn't help that situation. A lot of people have low morale, but, you know, we've got to get over these things. You can't always be winning, guys. But anyway, let's have a quick look here. What's the race exclamation point for? Car rebuilds required. Okay, well, that's not great, is it? What do we need? We need missing parts. We are missing front wings. Okay, we can fix that. I'm sure we can fix that. How's our manufacturing looking here? Cars, so that's going to be to do with the missing parts. We want car development. Are we currently building front wings? Not that one, that one. Front wings, we are currently manufacturing front wings, so let's not worry about it too much. So that's fine, and that should take care of itself. So let's hit continue here and see what is upcoming. We've got 2 weeks between now and the Miami race. Now we have scouted Manuel Correa. Is he any good? Let's have a quick look here. He's not, is he? He's only got average growth potential. He's the only American driver that we can sign. So the issue that I have with replacing Mick Schumacher is not necessarily replacing Mick Schumacher with Sargeant. It's that Manuel Correa would have to come in and be the reserve driver for now. And that is, yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, is it? It's not ideal, but... you know, if we want to be an American team with American drivers, maybe we have to make these sacrifices in the driver market. But anyway, we'll see. If Mick can score points today, like I say, I'm willing to give him, maybe not to the whole end of the season, but certainly give him a little bit of time. Now, are we building new chassis? What's that? Underfloor. Are we building new underfloors? Are we building underfloors? Current projects. We are building underfloors. We've got, well, we may not have enough. One day, no, we should have enough. We should have not got a little bit of time here before the race, so that hopefully we'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Underfloor, low stock, and so that's on both cars. It's low stock. It's very confusing. Anyway, aerodynamic. Okay, so now we've got the testing thing has been reset for wind tunnels and whatnot. So that means that we can now go and develop more parts of the car. So if we go to, actually, what I want to do is go to here and have a look at car analysis and see where we rank on the grid. So, and I mean, really, not well, is it? We've got a decent-ish top speed, but that is about it. Now, we do, as I say, we have 2 new parts coming onto the car. So what I don't want to do is rush in and make changes. Let's change those gearboxes now so I don't forget to do it. I don't want to, yeah, sort of develop something before we get the new parts on the car. So... we've got a few gearboxes to go, so that's fine. As I said last episode, we will need to take gearbox penalties at some point, I'm almost positive, but everybody will. It won't just be us that does that. It might even be a case if we find ourselves and we've manufactured a front wing. It might even be a case if we find ourselves in a situation where... now, K-Mag, has he got the new front wing? I think he does, doesn't he? It might even be a situation where if we find ourselves not qualifying well for a race, we just preemptively take some parts. But we'll have to wait and see on that front. So there we go. So we've got the front wing on both cars. Now, what does that do? So 9th in low speed. Okay, so that makes us look a little bit better now, doesn't it? It actually makes us look quite competitive. We might even find ourselves with Mick Schumacher scoring points, which would be a little bit awkward, wouldn't it? Front wing manufactured, so that is that. So does that mean we can update something else here if we go to car? No, because it's manufacturing is different to... Okay, so what I want to do is... not on K-Mag's car. Do we have a new underfloor? One of the new underfloors. Okay, so we do. So we can install those actually on both cars. And let's see how that makes the car rank. So very good in cornering now. Okay, so this is actually starting to look a little bit better now. So what we want to work on now is our top speed and our acceleration. So we can go and have a look at what we need to do that. We want the new project. We want to design. And it's a rear wing, really, isn't it? That's going to have the best effect on that, I would think. So let's go with that. Let's invest. We probably don't want to do more than half of our time, do we? If we get the medium speed little boost thing, if we do that as well. It doesn't do much for the top speed, really, does it? But anyway. We've got the wind tunnel. As I said before, I think I'd rather have big upgrades and fewer than not that many. You know what I mean? Than have them come little and often. Can we do DRS acceleration? Is that something that's going to be affected by this? No. I mean, the problem, but it goes up. The car attributes go up the more wind tunnel you put in. But I don't fully understand, if I'm completely honest. But there we go. So that's that. 47 wind tunnel hours leaves us 45, so we can get another thing. Let's go with balance. I think we just probably want to balance that out, don't we? So let's do that. And engineers, we can do half of them. It only adds, let's do it that way, and normal. And so there we go. So we should have a new rear wing coming in. Now, one thing I should probably be thinking of doing is getting sort of like a Monza-specific rear wing and those sorts of things. Race simulator upgrade is completed, so that's a nice little bonus. That'll help with driver development. Let's have a look at that. So 60%. How much do we have? We got 25 million in the bank, so let's do that again. Let's try and give Logan Sargeant just as much, and whoever comes in after him as reserve driver as much, and it will help the race drivers as well, but give them as much time as possible. The race preview is here. We are 1 day away. More manufacturing complete. I'm not sure what that is, but let's go and have a look at what we've got. Miami, it's the first race, of course, that that has been here this season. Was the first time. We can see there's a few red sections which are going to be sort of traction as well as just being generally slow, and we know that we have a good car for slow speed. This might, I don't know, this might be an okay race. It's looking as though it is it's a 2-star, 1-stop, isn't it? Medium to the hard, in all likelihood, unless something is a little bit funky. Reach Q2. We've been doing that. Qualifying position of 12th. Do we want to risk that? Q3. I'm too conservative, aren't I? But I don't think I want to... We haven't been qualifying necessarily 12th, and we don't know exactly how these upgrades are going to work. Finishing position of 12th. I'd like to think so. One driver will get 12th. All right, let's take the risk on that. I'll forget by the time the race comes around anyway that I've said that. And finishing position of 14th. I mean, to get a potential bonus of 1 million, that is quite decent, isn't it? We need a hot streak of 5, which is tough, but 14th should be. Even Mick Schumacher can get 14th, surely. All right, let's head off to Miami. So, heavy rain for practice and the race. That is going to make things interesting, isn't it? And it allows a lot of time for me to screw things up. So I'm going to give Mick a fair crack here. I'm going to give him FP1. We'll stick Logan Sargeant in, and we'll see how he goes. We'll work on a setup, and I'll come back when we have something to update you on. Okay, so Mick has come back in. He's currently fastest, but a lot of that I think is just down to the fact that it's pouring rain and he did the first lap. So we will continue to play around with this. I'm wondering if we want maybe something like that. Anyway, we'll continue to play around. I'll give you an update on Logan Sargeant when we have one. Okay, so Logan Sargeant, not a massive fan of his car either. So we've got a lot of work to do on the setup, but we'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there anyway. Alright, so we see everybody running around here. We were first and second as everybody gets a bit of dry running in now. We are falling down a little bit, but Mick Schumacher is still... maybe not. We're doing okay, though. We're doing okay. Alright, so not a good look for Mick Schumacher. Logan Sargeant P12, Mick Schumacher P14. On the same track at the same time in more or less the same car. That doesn't bode well, does it? Let's go to to practice 2 now. We'll get K-Mag in the car and see what he can do. But, yeah, Logan Sargeant making a very compelling case for himself there. Alright, so K-Mag has just crashed and damaged the front wing. Now, how many front wings do we have, K-Mag? Same design, we have 2. Is that right? So that should be fine. Alright, just don't do it again, please, Kev. Just don't do it again. So second practice is about to come to an end. It looks as though 12th and 15th is roughly where we're going to finish. We're still like 60% setups. So we're not there yet. It looks like Mick's coming back in, so we'll get an idea of how we're doing on his latest setup here, and K-Mag's coming in as well. They're not quite there yet. Traction. I'm really struggling to get sort of everything lined up, but anyway, we'll send him back out and see if he can get it before the last few minutes of the session here, so we can start FP3 with some clean slate of info. That's looking better for K-Mag though, much better. So FP2 comes to an end at 12th and 15th. Mick is within 2/10, so he's not a mile away. Quarter of a second is acceptable, but ideally we would like it to be a little bit closer. So we're at Saturday now, so we've got the free practice 3 coming up. Qualifying is going to be dry, so I don't know if that helps us or not, to be honest, but yeah, well, we'll keep working on these setups and I'll hopefully have a good one by the end. Uh-oh, that's...
Understood, Mick, understood.
Mick... That's not what was needed, mate. Jesus Christ. Did he have a car failure there? That is going to have destroyed almost everything. Let's have another look at this. And Mick Schumacher. What has he done? He forgot there was a corner there. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sargeant might be driving anyway if he's dead. Jesus, that was a big impact. Alright, well, that's Mick Schumacher out of free practice. So yeah, I hope his setup is to his liking. That's not your way to endear yourself to the team though, Mick. Come on, mate. Come on. Okay, so free practice 3 is done, and K-Mag inside the top 10, just over a second off the fastest time. So the new car parts seem to be working, and then Mick, of course, has destroyed them all. And of course, with Mick not having the setup confidence, that's going to be another hindrance for him now into qualifying as well. So he's really given himself a lot of work to do here. Welcome back. It is time to qualify, and well, we need to get inside the top 15. Of course, 16th and down will be eliminated. And as our beautiful Haas cars come out onto the track, let's hope that that they do themselves proud. Particularly you, Mick. Pressure's on here, mate. Okay, so we have 3 minutes to go here. We're going to send out the 2 boys, and well, K-Mag is currently 7th. Mick Schumacher, as is expected, is the man in 13th, and he's got a couple of quick cars behind him. So let's go and jump on board here momentarily, and let's see if Mick can get himself into Q2 for the first time, and that would go some way towards convincing me, if not everybody else, that maybe he is worth keeping on for maybe at least until the summer break. But let's go and have a look here. Let's have a look at his split times, and let's see what everybody else is doing in terms of sectors as well. So there's lots and lots of green behind him. Has Mick gone faster in the first sector? I don't know where the sector things are here, actually. It's new track to me, so... And not a track I've raced in, but you know, when you play the actual Formula 1, that's how I usually get to know where the sectors are. But Mick has done a green first sector, as has K-Mag. He's going to have to go faster because everybody behind him is going faster. It's lighting up green, isn't it? He is catching this Aston Martin in front, which might actually be okay if he gets a toe down the back straight. Checkered flag is out. We knew it was a one-lap dash, though. The Williams are both behind him. That's where they usually are, though. Now, what can Mick do? And Ocon, Ocon's got in front of him. He is the man at risk. He's out-qualified Norris. I think it's Stroll in front. Vettel has gone faster, so he needs to beat Vettel's time. K-Mag is currently 9th. He has not done a personal best in the middle sector, but it's all about Mick. It's all about Mick. What has he done? Has he done enough to get himself out of Q1 for the first time? I don't... He has! Go on, Mickey boy! And K-Mag is P9. So P9 for K-Mag, P15, he's done it. And, well, he'll probably start the race 15th, won't he? But it's something, it's progress. Let's go to Q2. All right, so we both of them have done a run on a used set of tyres from Q1. And we currently have Mick in 13th, about half a second off progressing. K-Mag in 8th, about half a second safe. So, very conflicting fortunes here. Do we think Mick's going to do it? I don't think he is. But, well, let's go and ride on board. It might be the last chance we get to see him. So, we'll see how he does here. Guan Yu Zhou has already done a green first sector. Gasly has not. I mean, if he could stay 13th, I mean, that's not a bad place for him to start in terms of scoring points in what could be a wet race. And if I get something like a strategy correct, then, you know, maybe we could be on for a decent result here. But I don't know what Mick's like in the wet. So I guess time will tell on that front. We should have a sector time coming up here somewhere. Session is finished. Mick has done a green first sector. Now the two Alpha Tauris have done a green and a yellow sector. K-Mag's done a green first sector as well. Now on brand new fresh tyres, Mick should be able to go quicker. So that should be to his benefit. Whether he can go half a second quicker, that's going to be the thing, isn't it? Guan Yu Zhou has been eliminated from qualifying. Gasly has gone inside the top 10. K-Mag, with both of them have done 2 green sectors. K-Mag is looking good to progress here. Can Mick, who is currently 14th, push himself up? That's going to be the big question. We have got ourselves good track position here. We're right at the back. So we're going to have the best of the track conditions, with a little lock up there from Mick, maybe going into the final corner. Has he thrown it all away? K-Mag is through. K-Mag cannot be eliminated. Can Mick Schumacher pull off a miracle? And no, he's gone a yellow final sector. K-Mag is 9th, Mick 15th. So Mick is eliminated from qualifying. How far away was he? Now K-Mag is pretty much in a battle. He could get Alonso maybe for 8th. He's not a mile away from that. But Mick was 3/10 away, wasn't he? He's what's that? 8/10 away from K-Mag. That's a lot, isn't it? That is a lot. That's a big gap. All right, so we go to Q3 with K-Mag only. So after the first runs, K-Mag on a used tyre. He's currently 7th, though he does have a Ferrari behind him in Leclerc. Now you'd imagine that Leclerc is going to be faster. And again, we've got K-Mag at last across the line. It's whether he can stay ahead of Bottas and Alonso and maybe pip Gasly or Hamilton, who are right there. They're not a mile away from him. So let's jump on board. First time we'll be following K-Mag. He does have a bit of a worn engine. I was actually going to replace that, but it's not too. It was just below 50%, I think, so he should be fine. It was high 40s. What I was going to do is replace it and then use this engine again in Monaco or somewhere like that. But anyway, doesn't matter. It's one of the things everybody's going to be taking penalties. We've just got to make sure that we take them at the right time, I think. But here we go. Have we done a green first sector? What's everybody else doing? Gasly, Hamilton are going faster, as is Bottas and Alonso. Leclerc is actually slower, which is weird. But anyway, the two Red Bulls look like they're going slower as well, but they're way out of touch. They're a second up the road from us. Let's see what the second sector time is. It's another green one. We have fallen behind Alonso. Now again, we're on new tyres here. We did our first lap on used tyres, so we should be faster. Is anybody else going to leap ahead of us? Surely the Ferrari will, of Leclerc. Will the Alfa Romeo of Bottas do the same thing? Bottas has gone ahead of us, so this needs to be good. Come on, K-Mag. Actually, if it's a wet race, it's maybe not the end of the world if we've got a bit of a worn engine, because horsepower's not going to be everything. Can we move up the grid at all? K-Mag has qualified 9th, which is roughly where he's been all session, to be honest. So very consistent, 30.9. That's pretty much as fast as our car goes. We were a smidge ahead of Pierre Gasly and a smidge behind Fernando Alonso. But from P9, we can race from there, as they say. And it's going to be a wet race as well, so that should be interesting. But if you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And if you're ready to watch the race, there'll be a link right there. And if not, well, then come back and watch it another time. Wet race, P9, P15. Can we score double points? Take care.